Hello, how you doing?
Good, are you?
Doing good. How's my volume? Is it too loud?
No, I could turn it up and down on mine.
Go ahead. It's not a big deal. What happened?
Oh no, I could turn it up and down on my end.
Okay, cool.
How's the hurricane?
It's not here yet.
What?
It's not here
When's it start?
yet. Supposed to be, it says at 1 a.m. It's currently 12, so we'll see how that works. They keep pushing it back. They told us 10 and then 11, and then someone at 2 o'clock when I went to work at 2, someone was telling me this girl, she's from Ensenada. She has family there, and she was telling me how it was raining bad over there
Hmm.
at
I
around two
saw the
o'clock.
TikToks.
Did you?
Yeah, they're
What was it?
wild, but they're still out there. They're still out there shopping.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Because then my wife was saying it went from a category 4 to a category 1,
It went from 2 to a 4.
2 to a 4. Or what? I don't even know what that. Yeah,
Oh shit! It's coming down now over here.
you're joking.
No,
You're
you could
fucking
hear it.
joking.
No, like you could hear it loud as fuck. I know you can't hear it, but I can hear it on the windows. Hold on, let me see if I can get it close enough. You can hear it on the window?
No, is it bad or is it just a little bit?
No, it's hitting hard.
You're joking, bro.
No.
So what? Just past San Diego because we didn't got shit, and it's all hot still. So it's like, man, it better
Yeah,
not be hot and
it's hot
rainy.
over here.
Yeah, it sucks. Hate hot rain.
Yeah, you could hear it.
No shit.
Yep.
No,
Just
not here.
it calmed down, but it came down like real quick for like 10, 15 seconds.
Dude, that's so funny. If it's just like passes through and it's nothing.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny. But I'm assuming it's gonna hit hard tomorrow.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they keep talking about it's gonna hit hardest at the desert. I was like, that'll make no damn sense. Like it's gonna go through like Los Angeles and you guys and everybody. And it's like, nah, like the desert, Palm Springs and them and Coachella, and they're the ones in trouble.
Bro, this TikToker, which is bad, I get my news from TikTok, was saying how it was gonna fucking everyone all the way to Arizona needs to worry about it. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. And then I'm seeing all these because they named it Hillary, all these memes like Hillary Duff. You saw the I posted a Hillary Duff one.
I kept thinking of like Hillary Clinton. Fucking, can you that fucking that bitch in her hair, Karen hairdo, fucking just coming in fucking California.
Right? That's so funny, dude. Oh my god. Nah, man. What else? I had a list of stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. Just ideas. Um, not just the hurricane, even though it's crazy. It just came down right as you were talking about it.
Yeah, it stopped, but it hit real quick for those 10 seconds.
Um, so yeah, just a couple things. But how's your family? How's everybody?
Good. Same old, same old. Still like we're still trying to get the baby on a routine. Motherfucker does not want to be on a routine. He does whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, I hate that shit. Right now we're going through that with my son. He's 10 months. How many months is your son?
He's gonna be 7 months.
Oh, what? We're that close together? That's so cool. I didn't know we're that
Mhm.
close.
Like fucking Chris and Carlos's kids are only like 2 weeks apart.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. So I'll always remember that. When exactly was he born? January?
Mine February.
February. Okay.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that? I remember when who ended up finding out first? I think Chris ended up finding first that he was gonna be a dad. And Carlos likes to instigate and he told me while we were hanging out and Carlos was just like, bagging on him. Like, ah, you idiot, you dumbass, you're so stupid, this and then like 2 weeks later, I'm hanging out.
No,
Guess what happened to Carlos?
that's so
It's like,
funny, dude.
fuck, man.
It's funny you
That's
use the word bagging.
yeah, I remember I think and it's funny because I think that's like the literal definition of remember Godsmack, the band?
Uh-huh.
I think that's like the definition is like kind of like almost like karma. He got Godsmacked because he was talking all that shit and 2 weeks later. He ended,
Oh,
he ended up finding he was gonna be a daddy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's karma,
Yeah.
karma, karma.
And
Well,
I think they just turned 18, both of them.
they did. They sure did.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. I remember. Yeah, like, I remember that time when they both found out and they both were born. I remember where uh, Carlos had his S10. He pulled it up and he had it parked on Chris Leon's lawn. I don't know if you're probably there, but he had like a pack of like Bud Light, and he was just giving everybody one, and he gave one to me. He's like, "You can have one too, Joe." Like, we had just gotten through something together. I remember we kind of had some problems, and we just became cool. And
Did you tell him I don't drink this? I drink Cactus Cooler.
no, it was right when I started drinking. So he said it like that, like, "Oh, he kind of said it that way." I felt like, "Oh, you drink now too, so here you can have one too." And we're cool again. And we are just sitting in the back of his truck, and he was telling me his what he's gonna name his son,
Mm.
Jordan Beckham
Jordan Beckham, yeah.
Rivas. And I was like, "That's cool." And he looked at me like, "Do you even know where I got those from?" Like he was like trying to quiz me on it. And I was like, "I mean, I know who Michael Jordan, but I didn't know who David Beckham was back then."
Yeah.
Um,
I remember him telling me. I was like, I get the Jordan because he told me he's like I named him after the greatest basketball player and
mhm.
the greatest soccer player of all time. I was like, excuse me, like Beckham hasn't even won a Champions League. Like, where do you get this idea that he's the greatest?
You guys are arguing over that. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
He's gonna name his son that. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
You're like,
I mean,
nah, dude.
I don't mind, but well, I am gonna like question. I was like, the greatest of all time, like really, like
Well, I
in
mean, everyone has
2000.
their
Where was
we
it? What year was that they were born? 2005, 2006, 2005.
2005.
Yeah,
Yep,
but yeah, and I remember when they lived in that house over here by Ridgeview too.
I
I
remember
remember
that.
like we were drinking and his son woke up crying. That dude completely stopped partying just to take care of him. I was like, dang, like that's some dad shit right there.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard for him, I'm sure, because I mean, it's hard for me now. I'm barely going through it, but it's like I couldn't imagine like being partying and then having to go through that.
Yeah, for
Like
us.
that's kind of an intense way to grow up quick. I mean, for both of them, because even Chris, we'd be partying right there, and his kid would be in the other room sleeping. Remember that?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
just like it was an
Like,
interesting way.
kid, both of them were troopers for like sleeping through the night while we were making a fucking ruckus.
Right, right.
Fuck, it's
That's
raining
interesting.
hard again.
Hurricane, fucking hurricane, huh?
Hurricane. I know. You know what's funny is I barely found out about this like literally 2 days ago.
Yeah, same, same.
So yeah, because like I remember like last week my wife said, "Oh, it's supposed to rain like Sunday and Monday." Oh, that's cool. Like didn't think much of it, and then all of a sudden, like I see all these like TikToks come up, like Hurricane Hilary, like it's gonna fucking hit and this and that. And, like first time in California, I was like, "Excuse me, California, what are you guys talking about?" And then I see, and I was all like, "What?" Like, no, stop it. Like they're probably just, trying to scare you like always.
Yeah,
Type
I
of the
mean,
media.
I don't know, and it's tough because you grow up at our age, that like the weather report's never fucking true. Like, I mean, not never true, but it's most often wrong. So, like
Yeah.
they're always like saying something and then turn around, it's not that way, and it's like, well, we have meteorologists who go to school for this bullshit, but they fucking somehow get it wrong. I mean, it
Like,
happens.
when I worked at the car wash, I stayed watching the fucking Weather Channel to see if I was gonna work or not the following day. And
Oh,
so
was that a thing? Like, if it was raining or something, you didn't have to work.
yeah, because a car wash, they're not gonna be washing cars when it's raining. They're just gonna
Oh, is
get
that? I mean, I didn't think of it, but I guess yeah. So if it's raining,
yeah.
they don't go to car wash. Car washers don't have to work that day.
You know how many times like I won't like check the Weather Channel. I was like, oh, like 90% chance of rain. Like guys, get your umbrellas out and this and that. It's like fuck yeah, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Out till like 4 in the morning, and like next thing I know, like sun's creeping like at 10 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck? It's sunny as fuck, and going to work all hung over and hot and busy as shit because all the cars are dirty.
Was that your first job?
Yeah.
How long did you do that job for?
Mm, I'd say like a couple of years, like while I was going to BC.
I remember that. It was crazy. You used to work right there, that car wash right next to my house.
Right next to your work too, right?
And right
Taco
next to
Bell.
my work, Carlos worked there for a little bit with you.
Yeah, he worked there for like a few months.
And we used to walk to Taco Bell, and we used to have, I used to see him all the time. We just have bullshit with him.
Yeah, yeah, we'd walk across the street, get some lunch or whatever, and we're only supposed to be like taking like half-hour lunches. We'd be taking like an hour.
Damn.
Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
we took a nap. Like we fell asleep like on in the shade. My
Together,
bad.
together next to each other.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh man, those are the days. I remember that. That's right. That Taco Bell. I remember that first summer after high school was like that's when I see you guys a lot. You guys would walk in, or I'd see you like at work. I see you guys like in your uniform all the time. It's crazy.
It was a change in life. I remember we used to always go to Cup Dog's house. We were there like a lot, always a lot, a lot, a lot. And then we all ended up getting jobs. And I remember one time like Cup Dog would call us all because he was bored at home. Like, hey, so like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm at work. Oh, just wanted to see if you want to come hang out or something.
Yeah, yeah. Um, his dad just passed, right?
Really, I didn't know.
Actually, maybe not just. I think he passed early last year now. Ooh, it's been a while now.
Dang.
Yeah, it
Do
sucked. It
they
was
still
really
live in
sad.
that house?
No, man. I didn't really ask him, but he kind of mentioned it. I didn't want to push it, but I guess he mentioned that they, you know, years ago they sold it and they moved into a trailer home.
I'll occasionally like drive by that house, and I never know, but I remember his dad had like a Titan, right? Like a Nissan Titan.
Right.
And I didn't see it anymore. I was like, oh well, they probably like traded down, both their cars, they just probably need one. Um, but
Yeah.
like the house doesn't I don't last I saw, I don't think it was as well kept as when
Oh
we
yeah.
used to go hang out over there. So I figured, oh no, they probably like sold it and probably moved into something smaller.
Oh yeah, that's probably what they did. I mean, that's probably the idea there, but I just know it made me sad thinking about man, because we weren't there that long, but they were there for a long time. But I feel like it was like uh we didn't hang out there that many years. It felt like it meant a long time, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it did leave an impact on me, like that place. Like it was a different. There was a smell when you walked in. There was like a
Hmm.
feeling you got.
Tiki
Always,
Punch. I
always.
always remember every time I see Tiki Punch, I remember that house.
Yeah, that's true. Though they had Tiki Punch. They stayed with Tiki Punch. I
All the
remember
time. That's
that.
all we drank there was Tiki Punch.
Shasta McNasty. We used to drink that shit all the fucking time, bro. Dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, and then I remember like when we would hang out and party, like the parents like
Mhm.
it's fine, it's cool, but like there was one time specifically, or many times, a couple times probably, maybe at least two times, where we got so fucked up that we would go into the room and we would play. We'd
Oh yeah.
practice at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember like, like the next day or like next week, we would bring it up or it was brought up and the parents were like, it's fine. Like it's okay. We were sleeping, we didn't hear it. There's no fucking way they were fucking sleeping and they couldn't hear that
Yeah,
shit.
right.
They were being nice. But at the time I believed that, oh, that's cool, we can do play. Dude, no fucking way, bro. A fucking drummer and a fucking guitarist and a bassist
Yeah,
going at it,
bass. Yeah.
ham at in a room next
Ugh.
to their room at fucking 2 in the morning. There's no
I
fucking way.
I remember like two stories. Like I remember when Manuel was with Brittany and
Brittany one or
one
Brittany two?
huh?
Brittany one or Brittany two?
We Brittany Brown.
Okay.
So because Adam named him that because he was with like two Britneys and one was Brittany Shantice's sister and she was
That's Brittany one to me.
okay. So
Brittany
Adam
Brown's
like,
number two.
yeah, so he would call Brittany Brown, I guess Brittany one because she had like a tan complexion, and Brittany two would be Brittany White because she was pasty.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how Adam and
You're talking about her last name wasn't Brown.
yeah, no, he called them by their skin tone.
Got you. I thought her last name was Brown. I'm like, I didn't know her last name was
No, no,
Brown.
her it was like I
Brittany
forgot.
Brown, Brittany White.
Yeah,
Got it.
so Brittany Brown, Brittany one, she came over and like her and Manuel were talking about something. They were like arguing, kind of squabbling outside. and like we were all kind of drunk, and we are like, oh, let's go find out. And because the window was like facing the front of the street, so we opened it a little bit, and we're all trying to listen. And
At Cup Dog's house?
yeah, Cup Dog's house. She showed up because Shantice lived down the street, or her and Brittany.
Right.
And we went into the room with all the like the band, like the drums and shit, and we like opened the window to find out what they were arguing about. And I remember like Manuel turning and looking to see if we were looking out the window, and like we all
Dog.
left, like trying to like not make any noise, and I ended up like stumbling over the drum pedal and falling on all over the drum set.
Oh, my drum set.
Yeah, you're like, well, fuck, now he knows.
God damn. Yeah, yeah.
And then the other time I remember I just remember Cub Dog, he had a girl over, and he had sex with her, and I guess I remember specifically he went and tossed the condom in the toilet,
Mm,
and I guess he forgot to flush it,
uh-huh.
and his mom saw it the following
Uh,
his mom saw it the following day.
His mom saw it the next day, the condom.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like
And
you're
she goes
like
on to like Cub Dog about it.
she went to Cub Dog about it. I'm translating for you because
Yeah.
you're like you're like too excited right now. I want to know what happened.
She confronted Cub Dog about it, right?
No, yeah,
And
okay.
he told us, well, it's not mine.
He
And she's
said
like,
it's
whose is it? Your father's?
he said it's not mine.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And his mom's like, well, whose is it? Your father's?
Did he fess up or what happened? How did he say that?
And that's all I remember him telling us his story. But I remember laughing so hard, I was like you might as well fess up because I thought the exact same thing his mom. He's like, who's gonna blame his dad?
Well, right, but to be fair, a lot of us stayed there, so it could have been anybody's. I mean, Cup Dog could have named anybody, but I mean, it would have been weird because, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been weird because we all hang out together. So it's like,
I just remember that story. uh, the stupid shit we used to do.
yeah, oh yeah. Do you see that
Um,
one with Mike Pacinelli?
um, Little Mike.
I did a yeah, Mike, Mini Mike.
Yeah.
We did a podcast together. That guy's fucking hilarious, but he was bringing up some old times too,
Oh
some
yeah.
dumb shit.
We did a lot of dumb shit back then. Oh man, man, I'm so happy I remember that story. Whenever I'm down, I could just remember that story from now on.
Yeah, bro, some
And
fucking funny, dude.
Cub Dog's like mannerisms when you say he's like, "Who's this? Like your father's?"
Oh my god, he's so fun. I remember his sister. Remember his sister?
Oh yeah,
She
she
was
lived down the street from me over here in Silver Creek.
she still this?
Oh, I remember that's where she lived. We used to go over there and like watch UFC fights.
Oh, by Sam's Club.
Yeah,
You live right there?
yeah.
Oh no,
I
no, no.
think I live over in Silver Creek.
No, she moved a long time ago. They moved
Yeah.
over towards Old Standard or First Seven Standard. They live over there
Oh,
now.
really?
They live in a house like they've been living there for like 10, 12 years now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they moved. But no, her sister, man, oh, she was so funny. She was so funny. We like she would like I don't know if she like didn't want no one to know, or I don't know if they knew, but she didn't want no one to know that she smoked weed.
I remember. I remember.
Right, but I don't remember why, but she would like kind of be secret. Like, let's go over here. Like, one time it was me and her and him in the garage, and we were smoking. And she was so cool. Like talking about like stories. I think she see Pink Floyd, the original lineup for Pink Floyd with her dad. she saw like Sublime, or it was either Sublime or Nirvana, probably Nirvana. She
Hmm.
saw them live. She would talk about like watching school bands. And I was like, I would always give her shit about how old she was. Like, oh man, you're like 9 years older than us. And she would always get mad, like, fuck you, Joey.
Well, what's funny because like I remember us like being kids and going over to her house and like watching UFC fights and
Mhm.
like I remember things like, damn, they've got it made out here because like they had a nice house, they had a like a
Right.
big TV, like that. It was.
I
I
think
remember
they
like,
had just
dang,
had
like
their
they had
first
it
kid.
made,
They had
huh?
just had their first kid around that time too.
Really?
I think so. They just had their first. They had their. I think it was around that time they had their first kid.
I don't remember that. I just remember like Club Dog would like hit us up and be like, "Hey, you guys want to come over?" And it was just like it'd be us, like his sister would be gone with her husband.
Right. Yeah. And I remember one time we were trying to play Silent Hill. I don't know if you were there. We're trying to play Silent Hill. The new one. I forget which one it was. But like Cup Dog hates those games. I mean, he likes them, but he doesn't like to play them. He wants to see someone. He wants to watch someone play them. And every time he'd be like, "Okay, no, 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 turn it off. No, we're not. I'm not gonna play anymore. No, 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 no." I was like, "You're the one who told us to play it. Like, what
Right.
the fuck, dude?" It was so funny. Like, nah, turn it off. We're done. We're done playing this game. It was so funny. Yeah, it was fun though. It was really fun. Hanging out with Cup Dog and them back in the day. They hit him up, see what he's up to. It's been a while since I've talked to him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see how he's doing. I can't believe it's been that long since his dad passing. It's the last time I really talked to him. Yeah, he was upset about it. He invited me to the funeral. I wanted to go, but just couldn't. I had work.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like like even like Adam's mom passed, I think just last year too. And my wife's grandparents they passed I think last year. One last year and the one the year before and I'm terrible. Like I can't do like funerals. And it's not because like I get like super emotional, it's because then I don't know how to be emotional. So it'll be like her well I guess our brother-in-law the guy who's married to her sister he works at a cemetery and he's the dude that cremates the people so like that shit this shit doesn't affect him either he's imagine fucking burning bodies like but he's a cool dude he's not like one of those fucking like a stereotypical cartoon like the Undertaker type deal where they're all like Frankenstein's monster but like I'll just be hanging out with him and like they'll put on like the music. I was like, "Do you think this is what they actually listen to?" I mean, like, he's like, "Bro, like one of my buddies that died, like I was at his funeral, and they put on some kind of Spanish song that they said was his favorite song. I knew this motherfucker. All this motherfucker listened to was like metal. I don't know why they put on they're always putting on the same songs like oh this is their favorite song and I knew these people like this motherfucker listened to Wu-Tang all the time I've never even heard him talk about this song like why
Right,
are they
right,
doing
right, right,
this
right. Well, that's the thing that's hard to see about different people. Like, there's many different sides of different people. Like I'm sure with you, I see a side, shows another side I've never seen before. Same with me, or who knows? Who knows? It's interesting that you brought that up because that's a very intense like thought process to think about like who people are. It's
mm,
like the all around. Like it's intense. It's
like,
intense, but
like
that's
that's
pretty sad. But I
like,
think that's pretty cool that that guy knew what he really listened to, and then the
yeah
family,
like,
like the family knew what he listened to on like the nice
like,
shit, and then like he probably like because
like I
even the
told
same with me. Like I don't want people playing like 2 Chains at my funeral, like because you know what I mean. Like I like 2 Chains, and everyone's like,
yeah
and I'll be alive like when I'm like the day before I die. I'm probably like, dude, 2 Chains is a shit, bro. I love 2 Chains, and then
right
my funeral they're not playing 2 Chains, and it's like, why aren't they playing two
right
chains?
teacher it's my fucking funeral not yours why do I have to listen to the shit you want to listen to
Right, right, exactly.
I already told
That's
my wife
another thing too.
the day I die at the funeral, I want you to be playing Big Sean WAP.
Wow, wow, that's crazy. But
Uh,
realistically, that's a really interesting question. Do you care about how like what happens to you after you pass? Like
no,
honestly, like
no,
would you
I
like
already
prefer a certain way?
no, I already told my wife like when I die, fucking the cheapest thing you could do, fucking cremate me and just put me somewhere where you think I'd like to be rest. I don't want a funeral. I don't want people showing up. I don't want nothing. If people want to um honor me in some way, fucking take the day off. Go to the beach. Go to Disneyland. Fucking do something fun. Don't fucking I'm not gonna ruin somebody's day by fucking what if I die in the summertime? Fucking imagine fucking a funeral in Bakersfield in the summer. You think I want people going out there like, fuck, man, this fucking funerals. It's hot as fuck out here, but you gotta be out here for this dead motherfucker.
To pay respect.
Yeah, but see, so but that's the way I see it. Like for me,
Right.
I'll go try to do it for somebody else, but like when I die, fucking cremate me, fucking tell people like in fucking social media or send a letter or something. Hey, so and so passed away on such and such day. Fucking take the day off. Go to the beach. Take
Yeah,
a 3 4 day weekend.
I like that. Uh, interesting story. I don't know if you find this interesting. There's this guy at work. He used to work there. He's this older guy. He was a supervisor,
Hmm.
like in his 60s. He had to have been in his 60s because he recently retired. And his wife, at some point during his, you know, working at Costco, she ended up becoming a vegetable. So he would tend to her. He would take care of her. That was his whole life. His whole. You go to work, you go home, take care of his wife, vegetable. And one day he let it slip in the break room
Hmm.
that he still has sex with his wife.
Ooh,
She and people were like, I don't know how he said it, but he basically the way he said it was she still needs to perform her wifely duties. And we're all like, okay, what the fuck is he talking about? And he went into detail about how he has this bed that like changes her positions, is able to like move her, like. And I was thinking like, fuck, bro. She recently passed on. I don't know how long she was in a vegetable state, but she was for many years in a vegetable state, and she passed. And that was what I guess because the money they got from her passing, he was able to retire, and he did. But that got me thinking: would you allow someone to have sex with your body after you become a vegetable?
that's like Kill Bill, remember?
You're right, but that's my thing is: do you think that if you're, I mean, who knows? We don't know really in that vegetable state
Yeah,
if they're still there or not, or like, is she aware? Does she care? Does she like it? Does she not like it? Is she like uncomfortable? Is she like being tortured? And
yeah,
that's like a crazy question to ask.
yeah. Cause like I already like told my wife like, yo, if like I start getting dementia, fucking like take me out to the 58 and push me off the bridge. If I'm in a vegetable state, fucking pull that cord like you're starting a lawnmower. Like, cause like I told her, I was like, you gotta imagine like that's some like kind of shit that'll drive you insane. Can you imagine like being trapped in your own mind without being able to move your body?
I hope that's not the case, but
I, you know, I
if
mean,
that
neither.
is the case, who knows? But if that is the case, that would be horrible. But I mean, I feel like it'd be. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm assuming it would be horrible to a certain extent. Like after years, I'm sure you get used to it. Like fuck it, I don't give a fuck. But maybe not.
No, I think you would go crazy. I know I would go crazy because like I remember being little and watching or and even listening to One by Metallica. You know that song, right?
Mhm.
And think about it. It's about a guy who lost like all his limbs, like his eyes, his like everything in war, and they're keeping him alive when all he wants is for somebody to put him out of his misery.
Right. That's my point. Is we don't know, but if that could be the situation. That's
Hmm.
scary. That's very scary.
That's what I told him. If the moment they tell you I'm a vegetable, you yank that fucking plug.
Right.
There's no reason for you to pay all those thousands of dollars in hospital bills. Just fucking yank that shit.
Yeah, but then that's yeah. Yeah.
And like hopefully it's not like remember and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when the Nazi grandpa they pulled the thing and he ended up still living afterwards.
Oh my God. The Nazi grandpa, I remember that.
Yeah, like uh, and they everybody think he's dead and all of a sudden And like, are you fucking kidding me? Well, some people's will.
No, man. But anyways, we went off on a tangent about fucking people after death. But that's something I want to put in my will is like, hey, yeah, yank the plug as well, but also don't fuck my body. Please don't fuck my body without my consent. Like, please. Like it's in my will,
Yeah,
you know? Or
yeah.
unless you want it,
Well, gotta
fuck
figure
it. Please fuck my body if I'm a vegetable state. Like that's a crazy request.
right. Remember, remember the Comedy Central roasts?
Hmm.
I remember they did one for what's his face? The dude from Playboy,
Oh,
Hugh
Hugh
Hefner.
Hefner. Mhm.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner. And was it Jeffrey Ross?
I know
That's
exactly what you're gonna say.
right, where he
It's
said the
like
only
fucking a
way
corpse.
or no, he said the only way he fucks women is through rigor mortis.
No, I didn't remember that. That's fucking hilarious.
I
Poor
was like,
guy, dude. Because
damn.
yeah, it's like he can't. Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine he was so old he could fuck. But I guess he could.
Yeah. And good for him.
Good for him, man. Good for him. That's crazy. Hugh Hefner. Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get down to business where
Yeah.
we're
So I want to ask you about your Biggie speculations. The Biggie's death. You get into Biggie a lot when you had speculated that there was someone you think is behind his death.
is Diddy.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think it was too much of a coincidence. It was way too much of a coincidence that because I remember like watching a story remember like VH1 Untold or something, and like everybody always had like the same story. Like Diddy got in one car and Biggie got in the other, right? Like why? Why would they take separate cars? And not only that, but like they timed it perfectly to the point where like Diddy's car, like they always like, oh, he just took off like right, right when the lights were changing, it just fucking darted because I guess wherever they were at, like the hotel or the club or whatever, like when they got in the car, it was like right there at the very corner where the stoplight is, and they fucking just take off and leave him behind. Especially because I think in part of the story they said that only like one or two people knew where the party was gonna be at, and fucking one of the cars leaves the other car behind, knowing that they needed to be followed, right? And like, and the car that ended up shooting a Biggie just happened to be like right there, waiting behind them, right?
Right.
It was too much of a coincidence.
I, I can see that, but at the same time, it's like, how do you really prove that? Because there's been speculations for years that Biggie is a was a hit for certain reasons. Like they say that he could have been hit because of the Pac thing. They could, or Diddy thing. But I think for years it's always been a thing of like I don't know how to explain it. Why did he go to California in the first place?
Because
Like,
that
you know what I mean?
part of his tour that he
Yeah,
was
but considering Tupac had died, I think he was trying to be brave. But considering Tupac had died, I feel like that's kind of a he shouldn't have went to California,
yeah.
especially during those times.
And I think it would have happened either way. It was gonna happen, no matter if he went to California or not.
Did you hear about? There's a story I just found out from another podcast I did. We talked about this. Mr. Hill, he talks about the story about how he's really into Biggie, and we talk about Jay Z and Biggie. He loves Jay Z. But he told me this. He sent me this story that we talked about on the podcast about how when Biggie was like coming up, or like he was like after his first album, I think it was, he had thrown shade at E40. You hear that story? And
Mm-mm.
E40 secretly booked a show in Sacramento. Where he's from Sacramento, right?
He's from the Bay Area,
Okay, wherever E40 is from. I don't know what I forget what city.
Oakland, I think,
Yeah,
Oakland or somewhere in
wherever.
the Bay Area.
wherever he's from, uh, he booked a show for Biggie to show up
Hmm.
secretly, without him knowing, because he wanted to confront Biggie face to
Hmm.
face. And sure enough, he did. Biggie fell for the trap. They went there, him and his people. No one was at the fucking show. He performed, no one for nobody. And then once he got done, he got off. They walked them outside, and they pulled up on him with guns, and they're like, "Hey, so what's going on with you and E40? Like you're talking all this shit." And it was like I forget what exactly Biggie had said in an interview or something, but they squashed it. Biggie told him like, "No, man, it's not even what you think. Call your boss. We'll talk. We'll squash this right now." And they did. And E40 came out there and told him, what his plan was and how he was gonna. He didn't like how he's talking about him, and now he's running up on him and shit. But that was something that happened that Biggie ended up telling him, "Nah, man, it was misconstrued. It was one of those situations. I believe, maybe I'm wrong, where this is what I understood from the situation at the time. Is this one of those situations where he had said something and then the magazine clipped it
Hmm.
and edited it, and made it look something different. So it was one of those situations where Biggie really didn't say it, but they kind of made him say it by editing his words. Yeah, so that's a story that I kind of my point of that story was he was easily tricked then.
Hmm.
Maybe he was easily tricked um,
And yeah, he
for
was
that.
tricked. He was definitely tricked. It was by Diddy.
I could see it. I mean, I could definitely see it, but I feel like
He probably, I mean, because I mean, and also he probably like Diddy probably thought to himself like, damn, look at all this money that Tupac is generating now that he's dead. How much can I generate off this fool when he's dead?
I just feel like Diddy is not smart enough to do that. He's not that
Are
smart.
you kidding? Like, look at all the talent he signed for like one song. They're all like almost everybody except for like Mace were all like one hit wonders. Like Total had like one song, but then they were like the backups. Um,
We didn't know
like
that
look at
about
Black Rob. Like remember Black Rob?
but
Remember
we
when
didn't
he
know that
did?
about these people until after Biggie died. Like we didn't know Mace was gonna be one hit wonder until after. I mean, we
Mace
kind
wasn't.
of
I wouldn't say Mace was a one hit wonder, but Mace probably had the most out of everybody. But if you think like look back at all like 112 too, I'll let them slide. But like all the other artists that like Diddy signed, they were all like one hit wonders. He got like what he wanted out of them and kicked him to the curb. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I think the older we get, the more we realize we're probably like holding on to some nostalgia, you know? Like I think like Jay-Z's definitely like passed them up. I think Eminem's passed them up. Uh I think Nas to an extent has passed them up, it's because like I think one of the things that bugs me the most is like when people put like Nirvana way up here when in reality like may maybe a good band at best.
what are you basing this criteria on?
On
Album sales, relevancy,
uh
years
because
relevant.
because they were like it's not like I guess they were around for a while. I mean they had like what three full length
Right.
albums if I can
Mm-hmm.
remember correctly, right?
I think two, but
And
like no, you're right. Three.
and I think it's the same thing. It's like oh because like the way he died and that he died during like the height of like Nirvana and all that stuff. But I think longevity plays a long a good part in it. And I don't know, like, and I think at the same time, I think that there's a certain like um, what's the word I want to use? I mean, I guess I can't come up with another word except for maybe overrated because one thing that really pissed me off one time was Rolling Stone put out 100 greatest guitarists of all time. Fucking
Always
put
piss people off on those ones.
Dude, they put Kurt Cobain like over like Bruce Springsteen. I think they put him over like James Hetfield.
That's
They
crazy. That's crazy.
they put him like if I remember correctly, like they put him somewhere in like the 80s or 70s. Like, are you kidding? Like he I a songwriter, okay. Um, guitar player, like it I mean, I haven't played my guitar in a long time, but I'm sure if I got on and listened to the Nirvana albums, I could probably learn all those songs in 2, 3 days.
Right, right, right. I understand what you're talking about because he was more like a rhythm guitarist than an
Yeah,
actual like soloist.
yeah.
Um, um, but that's
And
what
I guess
that's my
that
concern when it comes to all that. Like, what are you basing this on, like criteria wise? Because even then, I like to ask that person who rated that. Like, it sounds like that they posted 100 greatest guitarists of all time out of relevancy rather than skill. Because like, who's the more, like, popular, most popular?
and exactly
If that's the case, then okay,
how
I get it.
like
But say that.
like I don't know. I guess that's why it's always bugged me. I'm not. I don't want to shit on Nirvana, but like I would even say that the Foo Fighters as a whole are way more talented than Nirvana ever was.
That's an argument I could agree with you because I mean, just because like they have more output, they have more songs, they have more and they have albums that are like they have not good and really good, which is like Nirvana only has three you can really talk about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if
And
you were
that's
to
the
tell me
same thing I feel about Biggie with his albums, like because he only
like
has two albums,
mhm.
but they still those two albums like I have they're almost like hard to beat
Yeah.
like what he does in those albums are like there's something that I was telling you about on a podcast earlier. I don't know which one, but where he talks about uh Biggie started a trend where he would have only one person featured. On his
Mhm.
first album, he had one person featured, and Jay-Z would do that. Eminem would do that after that. A lot of people would just do that because Biggie did it. I feel like. I mean, I don't know if there's truth to that,
Yeah, well, Nas
but
had zero.
and people will do J. Cole has zero. He talks about that. Like I don't need a feature. And yeah, and that's real shit. But it's like some people do a lot of features, but Biggie did the thing where on his first album he only had Method Man, only had
Mhm.
Method Man on his album. That's the only person he had, and he did that for a reason. I feel because he wanted people to hear him, hear
Yeah.
this guy, hear him only. Eminem did it with Kendrick Lamar on when Kendrick Lamar first started popping up. He did like I want you to listen to only Kendrick Lamar on my album. Jay Z would do that. Jay Z did that to Eminem on Blueprint, the first
Yeah.
Blueprint, the only guest feature he
First
had on that
Blueprint?
album.
Was it the first Blueprint?
Yeah, that's the only feature he had was Eminem because he
The
wanted you to
Renegade, right?
listen to him. Yeah, he wanted you to listen to him, and that's like a thing that I feel like Biggie started. Anyways, it's going kind of going off subject, but Biggie, I don't know, man. I feel like Biggie wouldn't be. I don't think he would be as big as he was today because like look at Ice Cube. Ice Cube was big back then. He's not big now. He still makes
Yeah.
music. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I mean, he's still good, but I'm not saying his skill ended or he doesn't have skill anymore, but he has skill. But I don't check up on him anymore. Like
Mhm.
I'm not like gonna listen to a new Ice Cube album because it's just I don't know how to explain it. But I still bump Predator. I still bump America's Most Wanted sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. So I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I feel like if he was still alive, I think he'd be like Ice Cube right now. Just some rapper still out there.
That's why I said like Diddy, saw, Tupac's sales shooting up after his death. Like all artists, like, painters, when they die, all of a sudden their art is worth, 100, 200 times more than what they're worth when they're alive. And he probably thought the same. And like I remember like an interview, and not a lot of people talk about it or even remember or even know. Um, that Biggie had an interview with Sway or somebody like a long time ago where he had mentioned like that he didn't like the direction Diddy was taking him because he said like, oh, he wants me to keep doing like these like love love songs and like that's not what I'm about. Like I want to do like hip hop, like that's what I'm about. That's what I want to do. And Diddy probably thought to himself, "Oh, I can't contain this motherfucker much longer. And if I let him go, he's gonna be fucking taking all my money with him."
Killed him. Uh, damn.
Like I'm sure if you look it up, because like I said, I don't. Nobody's ever brought it up to me. I remember bringing it up to people, and people would be like, "Oh, for reals, that happened?" And I need to go back and see if I could find it. But I mean, it was fuck. You got to think all that time ago. It's probably somewhere in some stuck in some magazine that somebody has that I remember reading, or back when like the internet was still in its like very like
That
infancy.
Sway interview.
It might have not been Sway, it might have been somebody else, but I remember like reading about it in a magazine or listening to it on like when YouTube was like first thing, kind of, you know?
Okay, okay. I'll look it up. No, because I think I know what you're talking about. Maybe this is it. It was one of who was that group he had? He had a group, Junior Mafia.
Yeah,
One of the Junior Mafia guys had said it in an interview.
it might have been.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, they had said it in an interview that Biggie was not. So it was secondhand information. So who knows what he was really thinking? That's what sucks about this whole speculation shit and having to like see interviews of people talking for other people. And it's like I wish there was something that was grounded. There was something that was actually like kind of like with you see the NWA movie
No,
Straight Outta Compton. I
no.
don't know if we talked about this already, but it's just it's frustrating because we know what happened. We know the story. These kids from Compton, South, LA, we just got together, made this group. But it's sad because you if you watch it, if you really think about it, like there's parts of that movie where Eazy-E is doing things that you're like, how do we know this is accurate? Because there's no one
Yeah,
to speak for him. There's no one to speak for Eazy-E, which
yeah,
is very, very unfortunate.
yeah.
I feel bad.
And I remember Adam went to go see the Biggie movie. And I forgot who he went to go see it with, and he had mentioned it's like, hey, you think they're gonna put that part where he beats Faith Evans' ass? And I guess his friend's like, no, no, he's like a big old Biggie fan. He's like, no, they wouldn't do that. Oh no, they put it in there.
They put it in there.
They put it in, yeah, when he beats Faith Evans' ass after.
Oh, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, you haven't seen the movie?
After the Tupac thing.
I don't not. I don't think it was after the Tupac thing because I remember hearing the story about the Tupac thing and that he would just kind of looked at her in shame or whatever. It was over something else.
Oh no, I don't know why he would beat her ass, but
No, I remember hearing that story.
I just think he was mean to her. He would cheat on her a lot.
Yeah, well, obviously with Kim.
And what was the other one? Charlie Baltimore. He would cheat on her all the time with Charlie Baltimore.
Yeah, but yeah, Adam was all like, "Oh, he did beat her ass." They showed it in the movie.
Damn, that's fucked up. Damn,
Yeah, but
fuck. But yeah. Anyways, that was something I want to ask. I also want to talk to you about the MGK if you have time. MGK beef,
with
MGK
Eminem.
and Eminem beef. Like we talk, kind of touched base, and I kind of want to talk more about it. Maybe do like a full podcast. We just focus on it.
Oh yeah,
But just I want to know your initial reaction. Do you remember how you heard everything? How it went down in your life?
YouTube. I remember because World Star was the one who uploaded the MGK
Um,
video. I think if I remember correctly, or like they
Rap Devil.
shared it. Yeah, and that's how I remember. And I remember like it kept coming up on my feed for like a week straight. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why does it keep coming up? Like, I don't get it. But and you keep
It
seeing
was
like,
trending. It was trending.
yeah, and you keep seeing the fucking tally like going up on it, and I listened to it, and I was like, dang, like you went pretty hard at him. But and everybody's like, oh, like Eminem's done, like, and I kept thinking, I was like, how many times have like we heard that, and Eminem keeps like proving everybody wrong,
That's true.
and then Eminem came out and it was a done deal. And then it just kept like looking bad for MGK because remember when he went to on the Breakfast Club and
right after that.
again, Charlemagne's such a fucking piece of shit. I hate that dude. But he kept like pumping him up like, oh yeah, like no, you gave it to him. Like Eminem didn't even say nothing. Like I didn't. Who? What did he say that was like good? And MGA like, oh, I appreciate that, bro. This and that. And I remember like thinking, I was like, man, this is like the kid that got beat up in school and then went the following day back to school and told everybody that he's the one who beat the other kid's ass. And, and then that one friend's like, yeah, no, it was him. I saw him. And it's funny enough because there was like a story like that. And it happened in high school with us where somebody got beat up and then in summer school and then as soon as we came back from school, like I remember people were telling me, hey, is it true that so and so got their ass beat? Huh? Who told you that? That's not how it happened. Oh, that's what they told us. What? That's not nowhere near what happened. Like
Yeah,
like I was there. Like, how are you gonna tell me that
right,
that
right.
it went the other way around? But uh yeah, like I kept like, what's fucking Charlemagne and and I guess it goes back to the thing like Charlemagne. I think dude doesn't like Eminem because
He
he's
doesn't.
white.
He doesn't like Eminem.
Because
I know
he's
that for a fact.
because he's in, and I think it's
He,
purely based on the skin color,
yeah,
especially for
he verbally
Charlemagne.
speaks on it all the time, and he verbally speaks. I think that's the reason why. But so
And
the
again,
timeline that
it's
go ahead.
well, and it also goes back to like what Tony Yayo says, like what we're gonna hate on him because they don't play him in the club. Who gives a fuck?
You
I
heard
don't
that new Eminem song.
know like Eminem in general through his whole
You
career.
haven't heard the new Eminem song?
Did I listen to it? What's it called?
Fuck, I don't know, but he basically he talks about that. He goes, the reason why I don't they don't play me in the club is
Oh yeah,
because you still play you still perform in them. He's talking to like all the all the
yeah,
rappers. He's talking
yeah,
to
and then
Game specifically.
and Melly Mel came out and tried to diss
Yeah,
him, and
yeah.
everybody's like,
That's the
oh,
most recent beat, but we're talking
they're like,
about
bro, what are you
yeah,
doing? Like, what are you coming around
yeah.
here with that 1985 bop?
And you know what? It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad for Melly Mel. It was not bad. I mean, I respect him for doing it, but at the same time, he can't because here's what Eminem does, because he's one of my favorite rappers. He used to be my favorite, growing up, but now I could say there's other people that can maybe they can par with him, but Eminem is one of my greatest rappers because he only responds to people that he respects. And he knows that. It's like a sport. He knows that. So with the
Oh,
MGK thing,
you think he respects ICP?
well, he does now. He definitely does now. And he always did. They're friends now. They're all friends now. And they
Really?
became friends because of Proof, before Proof passed. They
Oh,
all
really?
Proof went bowling. ICP always tells a story. They went on Sway, which Sway is run by what's
Shady.
Eminem's radio station?
Yeah. Shady.
Shady 45.
Yeah.
And that's what Sway works under. And Sway had them on the show. And they were even saying, like, hey, we appreciate this. Like, we know we've had problems with Eminem and we know he owns the station. And they're like, well, we just wanted to, tell our side of the story, tell their side of the story. They talk about how, like, it's not even, they're cool now. And Proof made it cool. They went, I guess, Proof somehow saw them at a bowling alley, ICP,
Hmm.
when they were out without their makeup. And Proof was like, hey, he knows them because they grew up, they all came up together. Like, they were in clubs together. They kind of saw each other.
Yeah.
And now they're all famous. They're like, oh, let's play together. They bowled together. They're all bowled, and they were friendly, and they were talking, and basically Proof was giving them an inside scoop, like, it's all good, like, we're cool, everything's fine, like, like, and they ended up making amends through Proof. And ICP talks about more specifically, like, like, when Proof passed, they were upset as well because he was such a nice guy, and they go into deep how it started, they were just young, stupid. Anyways, they go into it, and they're cool now. And even like Eminem on the Marshall Mathers LP2, he shouts them out. At the end of the record, which was crazy because it's crazy. That was like a whole reconciliation record. Like he even talks about a song where he goes against cleaning out my closet, and he apologizes to his mom.
Hmm.
rather than like berates her. I don't know if you heard that song. It's called Headlights. He talks about his mom like he loves her, even though through they went through everything, he still loves her.
Mm.
Which is crazy. Like it's just like a different perspective of his as an adult now. Like it goes
Yeah.
into like this whole fucking. Anyways, uh, my point is, Eminem only disses people and has always people that he's respected, that he feels like so if there's someone who like Nick Cannon dissed him, he did a whole album towards him. Eminem didn't respond at all because he knows you don't deserve it. But like when MGK came at him, that's where Eminem I feel was um like it took a while for him to respond back, maybe a couple weeks, and it took
It
him
was
a
like right
while.
after like Memorial Day or Labor Day or
It
something.
was Labor Day that MGK did it. He dropped the song on Memorial Day or Labor Day, excuse me, and that's what Eminem says in his reply. He says, "I had to wake up Labor Day to this," like and um I forgot what happened. So Eminem started the beef. Eminem dropped an album called Kamikaze.
Hmm.
And on Kamikaze, he does a whole song where he disses MGK, but like um, subliminal. But it was kind
Over
of like
what he said over his daughter.
he goes, you know who you are, Kelly, like because his MGK, his name is Robert Kelly, or is it Kelly
Colton
something?
or something.
Kelly something, yeah, I don't know, Colton something. So he kind of like he drops little things I would have never known because I don't listen to MGK, but he drops little things, and then that's when MGK the next day after Kamikaze dropped, it was a surprise album. That's when MGK did a Twitter video where he pops champagne.
Hmm.
He's like, I made it.
Pop champagne
I
to
made
this.
it. I made it. Yeah, he goes, I made it. I am the greatest rapper dissed me. And then MGK comes back with his Rap Devil song, which I will admit it was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
Like for a guy I never heard before, it was really good. But it was at the same time pandering. I feel like it was like you knew he was a fan because he mentioned a lot of things that the
Yeah.
normal person wouldn't know. He mentioned like the Haley song, which is not a single. It's a song on this third album, Eminem's third album, that he wrote for his daughter called Haley song. He references that song.
Yeah.
No regular person would know that song, right? So he knew enough that he listened to him to mention these little sneak disses that Eminem would understand. So those were situations where I was like, wow, he sounded like a fan that was pissed off, you know.
Yeah.
And then I really thought Eminem was not going to respond because it took weeks for him to respond. I was like, he's not going to respond. He can't respond. There's no way. But he finally did, and when he did, I was like, okay. Even though it wasn't like MGK's was more upbeat and it was more like aggressive, Eminem's was like cool, calm, and calculated, and the
Hmm.
beat was really slow. He even got the beat from the same guy that made the rap. Did you know that? Like he did that on
Yeah.
purpose. He did. I know he
Yeah.
did that on purpose. He got the same beat from the same producer, like
Wow.
like a different beat from the same producer. Like as a fuck you. And I felt like it was more of him like trying to prove to this new generation that He's not just sitting at home. He is, but he's not just doing nothing. He's listening. He's listening because one of the things that I thought was what just happened recently with Lil Tay. You hear about the Lil Tay stuff? Um,
He died, didn't he?
no, Lil Tay, the
Oh, no.
girl,
Oh, no. Little Zay or somebody died.
Lil Tay. So do you remember Lil Tay?
No.
So Lil
I
Tay
remember
was
the
just
name.
Lil Tay was just an internet sensation, a troll in 2018. She did one song. It was like a part of a thing, but she was not an artist. My wife didn't know who she was either. Lil Tay just this internet meme person who she would just go around being like, I have all this money. She would like flex with money, and she'd be like hanging out with Jake Paul, and she'd be talking about this is my Lamborghini. You don't even have a Lamborghini, and she's like, this is my
Yeah,
mansion.
they died, right? She died?
No, no, they put up posts that said she died, but then the next day they said it was a hoax. So I think she's coming back. It's like a preview of
And I read somewhere that the brother died too.
you don't know about Lil Tay. We could talk for hours about Lil Tay. So they found out the brother, that 16-year-old brother, was making 9-year-old Lil Tay do these videos.
Mhm.
Right? The mom lost her job because she was a real estate agent and they were flexing in her home she was trying to sell.
Yeah.
She got fired from the agency, and because of this, the father took full custody and just took them off social media completely. It's been since 2018, so it's been 6 years, 5 years, and
Jeez.
all of a sudden we got this news that Lil Tay passed away. We're like, what? But the funny part was the brother and Lil Tay. Why would you say the brother and Lil Tay? You would say both their names, their real
Mm.
fucking names. You wouldn't just say the brother and Lil Tay. So I thought that was weird. And then the next day, sure enough, it was a hoax. I think the brother did it again. Because why would they even bring the brother in it at all
Yeah.
in that statement? Read that statement again. It's fishy when they say who died. Lil Tay and her brother? Like, what?
Yeah.
Who wrote that statement? That's not how you write a statement. Anyways, and the next day it was a hoax. So I think they're coming back or something. They're previewing something. But anyways, my point is in that Eminem song, all Lil Tay's known for at this point is trolling, right?
Hmm.
And Eminem says that he goes, "I feel like I'm babysitting Lil Tay,"
Oh yeah. I remember that
and
part.
that was like a whoa. He's listening. He's watching. Like he's aware. So I think that's what people don't understand is that's what he was trying to prove with the MGK response was that I respect him enough to respond because he's a good lyricist. I wouldn't respect him if he wasn't a good lyricist, good rapper. He had some good stuff in there, you know. Um, I'm watching what's going on, but at the same time, Eminem was also like, I'm not gonna let this kid slap me like this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Yeah.
slap him back. You know what I mean? Even though
Yeah.
Eminem started it, like I'm not gonna fucking let him beat me. He's proving to all the kids who he thinks probably listen to MGK. Maybe MGK is big in the which he wasn't. I mean, we all know that MGK even now is he's just a fucking a meme. He's a fucking I don't listen. I don't listen to him.
Yeah. Like I saw a video on TikTok. You know, my Mexican family doesn't let people slide. Did you see that one where he was at a carnival or something, and somebody yelled something at him, and he said, "What'd you say?" And they boom, they fucking shoved the shit out of him, and security guard like knocked Megan Fox
I
over.
saw that. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but he's just the internet clown now. He like and the guy known for dating Megan Fox. Like I don't know
Yeah,
any of his songs. Like I honestly don't know any of his songs. I think a lot of people don't. I mean,
yeah.
Materia has a fan base, but
I'm
I
sure.
think that it
Like,
was Eminem just proving that it was a like he had a hit. He had one. He had a, and he even said that in the song. Like I had to talk you up for me to tear you down. Like like
yeah,
you're nothing.
yeah. And somebody like that's what a lot of the comments I remember reading is like, damn, like Eminem bullied this guy so bad he had to change genres in music.
Yeah, and that was a situation. Like he came out with a rock album after that. And it was like that
Mhm.
wasn't it. That was not it at all.
Yeah, I remember like for a while, like he had like this little documentary on Netflix or Hulu, something. I was all like, who the fuck is watching this?
MGK?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, it's
I don't know.
something with pink in it. Because for a while he was wearing nothing but pink.
I know he's an actor. He's in a lot of good things, but it's like at the same time, it's like you know, even then he's not. He wasn't never the main character. He's always like the side guy. You know,
Yeah.
you seen Bird Box? He was a side guy. The I forget what it's called, but there's that Molly Crew movie. He wasn't even the main character. He was a side guy, and it's it is what it is. I mean, I respect him for what he's doing, but at the same time, is I don't keep up with him.
Yeah.
Anyways, Eminem, he's crazy. That's
Yeah.
basically what I have. Uh, I have before we end. Are you planning on staying on soon? Or are you planning on leaving soon?
Yeah, because the baby's still awake, so probably help him go to sleep.
Gotcha. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is for the last segment is a new thing I do. It's called lightning round questions, where I just
Mhm.
ask you questions, uh, just randomly, and you tell me what your opinion is, or we can get into it, but it's mainly meant for be like speed.
Yeah.
But if you want to stop and talk about it a little bit or make some, comments, we can. So
Yeah,
don't
that's
feel
fine.
like you can't. Okay, so
We'll
if you
probably
would
we'll probably get back on tomorrow so we can finally talk about this podcast for, movie and music reviews and
we can do it
all TV.
whenever you want to. Yeah, whenever you want to, because you said you're off for a while.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm working, but I do podcasts all the time, so I can
Yeah,
fit you in somewhere. Somewhere during the week we can figure it out.
that's fine.
Cool. Yeah. So just real quick, lightning round questions. So, your last, if you're gonna die tomorrow, you're on death row. What would be your last meal?
Last meal, probably tacos.
Tacos?
Tacos.
Any specific type of tacos?
Just the usual, like asada, plenty of onions, plenty of cilantro, good salsa. Because if you don't have a good salsa, it kind of just it breaks the taco down, you know?
I like that tacos.
Yeah.
What's your favorite genre of music?
Favorite genre of music. Uh, I always lean more towards the rock, and if we want to get deeper into rock, maybe the more progressive um side of it. Did you ever listen to that Coheed playlist?
I heard some of it. I didn't hear all of it. No,
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
it's cool, but it's not my kind of music.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I love a good progressive band.
They'd be considered progressive. Coheed and Cambria.
Progressive and I guess a little bit of new metal. I never know how to classify new metal because like you know like there was a show that I saw on MTV too, and they talk about, oh, where new metal come from and this and that. You know where it fucking you know where they decided it originated from, even though I think like Rage Against the Machine was like before them. Corn.
Bakersfield.
Corn. They said
Bakersfield.
corn. I
Yeah.
was like, excuse me, corn?
Well, corn is bigger than I would say Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, but I mean
Now,
who was out first?
right, but now,
Now.
so I
But
went to that corn
they were
concert.
talking about where it originated. Like
Well, I
who
went to
was
that
like,
corn concert. I went to that corn concert. Remember, I texted you the Incubus
yeah.
that day. So
Yeah, and
Corn
then
and
yeah, they
System headline, dude. When Corn came out, like everyone rushed the stage, like the whole fucking place where there was like no one standing, everyone was standing, and I'm like, dude. Me and my cousin didn't realize. Like, I didn't know Corn was this big. I go, I had an idea, but I never seen it like this before.
yeah,
Corn is
like
international.
yeah,
I
so
can't say Rage is.
yeah, no, like but that wasn't the question that they were posing. They said who were the like the Godfathers, who were the originators
Of new metal.
of new
Corn.
metal.
Mhm. I
And
believe that. I believe that people believe that.
so and I found it weird because you know they talked about like Coheed was on there, Incubus was on there, uh Rage Against the Machine was on there, Deftones is on there. And like if you like break down like all of this, like all of them are like really, really different, you know? So like that's why I was never like I never knew how to categorize what new metal was, right? Because like I don't think Rage sounds like anything like Coheed. I don't think Coheed sounds anything like Incubus. Incubus doesn't sound like anything like Korn. Um but I guess they're part of new
Yeah.
metal, but I always considered them more progressive.
Okay. Interesting. Now I have to listen to them again and consider that new metal because I went to that concert and it was basically a new metal show, new metal festival.
Yeah.
Least favorite type of music.
Least favorite? I don't know if I have a least favorite. I definitely don't listen to country. And you know what? And not until just recently, and I know this probably sounds crazy, did I realize how huge country actually is. Like I always thought country was like middle America type thing. Oh, it's fucking huge everywhere.
Hmm.
Like everywhere. Like I think me and my wife were at Target maybe last year and they had a book out there like uh I know I wish I would have bought it. It was like the 100 best selling albums of the 90s, right? And like it was like a couple of pages for each one. Like half of like the top 10 were like country albums. And like
Wow.
in
I
the
didn't know
other
that.
and like the other like 30 or 40% of the book was like country albums.
Well, there's the thing I don't know if you knew. Did you know that Garth Brooks is not on any streaming service?
Yeah, I found that out
Right. So
from
his CDs and his
Mhm.
vinyl are like worth a lot of money,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah, no. It
Okay.
I found that out from I think it was like the Tom Segura, like because they have beef,
With
that.
Garth Brooks?
Yeah, like Tom Segura, the comedian,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I guess they have beef because Tom Segura has like a pretty big podcast, and he had mentioned on his podcast that somebody did a whatchamacallit, a kind of like a survey or like a statistic or something about Garth Brooks and his concerts, and how there's a coincidence that anytime Garth Brooks does a concert somewhere, like all of a sudden, like there's like people missing. So
Ooh.
so they kind of made it seem like he was like a serial killer, right? And Tom Segura kind of talked about it on his show and it blew up. So now anytime like anybody gets on like Garth Brooks's like social medias or anything like that, everybody's all like, Garth, tell us where the bodies are. Where are the bodies, Garth, or whatever. And somebody at one of his
Damn.
concerts like was holding up a sign like, "Oh, we love Garth Brooks," on the big old Titantron and shit. Like, and then they took down the sign and said, "Where are the bodies, Garth?" At one of his concerts, right?
Ah, trolling them. That's fucked up.
Yeah. So
He's
yeah, like
pissed.
like I found that out like through listening to like Tom Segura's podcast, that yeah, he has no music on any streaming services, but at the same time, like, and Garth Brooks knows about like the whole bodies thing, so he doesn't fuck with Tom.
I bet he doesn't. Yikes.
Yeah, but like, and now because of Tom Segura, everybody just is always giving Garth Brooks shit about. But I mean, you got to think like I know like my wife's sister and her best friend, they go to country concerts all the time and they get fucking hammered. So
Hmm.
I mean, obviously it's not that Garth Brooks is a serial killer, is that people get fucking hammered and they probably run their cars into some kind of canal, never to be
Hey,
seen again.
who knows? Maybe he
I
is
mean,
a
it
fucking serial
sounds
killer.
it sounds like
And
something that would happen at a country concert now.
maybe he is Garth Brooks is a serial killer and fucking Bert, or what's his name? Tom Segura is just blowing up his spot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the fuck is going on right now. Okay, if you could fight any person, living or dead, who would you fight?
Who would I fight? I don't know. There'd be a lot of people that I'd want to kick the shit out of. But then to say like you got your ass kicked by somebody pretty awesome. Like I would want to probably get my ass kicked by either Bruce Lee or Muhammad Ali.
You would want
Yeah.
to just to say you fought them?
Just to say I got fucked up by him.
God damn, bro, that's fucking wild. That's an interesting answer. Oh
Right?
wow, okay. Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Street Fighter.
Street
It's not,
Fighter.
it's not even a
Okay.
question.
Who's your fighter?
I lean towards what people would call the Shotos, which would be like Ryu, Ken, and
Hmm.
Akuma, or who was Ken's like apprentice, the Jamaican kid. He's
Uh,
from Street Fighter.
Balrog.
No,
Balrog.
no, he was in Street Fighter 3. Um, he was, what's his name? He was like the typical like gi that like Ryu and Ken would wear, but it was yellow, and he had dreads, and like he didn't really have a.
DJ.
No, it wasn't DJ.
DJ.
Mm-mm, it wasn't DJ because
I
I
put
know who
in
DJ is. Um, put Ken Masters apprentice.
Ken Masters.
Yeah, because that's Ken's last name.
Ken Masters Apprentice. Sean.
Yeah, Sean. Like look him up. He has like a yellow gi.
I see him. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because they're all basically the same character, except maybe one's stronger, one's faster, one
Okay.
has different abilities, but they're all considered Shotos.
Interesting. Didn't even know that guy existed until today. What's the best movie you've ever seen?
Best movie I've ever seen.
Like not favorite movie, but like just like you were in shock. You didn't think much of it. You saw it, you're like, whoa, this is like it grew on you, or just it just became like a thing. And now it's like you always think back on how great that experience was.
Hmm. I probably the movie that shocked me the most because I'll always lean towards like a Goodfellas or a Casino. I wouldn't say that those were like my favorite movies, but I think the one that probably shocked me the most was like Ocean's 11 because I wasn't expecting it. I just happened to turn on the TV and it was on and I loved it. And till this day, I still probably watch it like once every month or a couple of months. Just
Really,
because, yeah, I think it's a cool movie. It's a smart heist movie, uh, funny. It's really enjoyable. You get to see some of these actors play roles that you like, like Matt Damon is usually like he's fucking Jason Bourne. But in that movie, he's kind of like a bit of a dweeb. He's like the like the little brother that they kind of make, he kind of tags along because, well, I guess.
right? Interesting. It's the worst movie you've ever seen.
Worst movie I've ever seen. I'll tell you the most disappointed movie I've ever seen was Baby Driver.
You didn't like that movie?
It was such a disappointment for me
Why?
because like the very beginning of it, like I absolutely love that the Subaru is there, that red Subaru.
Right,
But
right,
like
right.
the thing I always tell people about that movie is like when you watch the trailer, what kind of movie do you think that what
I've
movie
actually never seen the trailer. That was one of those movies I just ran into it. I just saw it out of nowhere. I didn't even know what it was.
like I remember watching like the trailers and like just being like so happy. I was like so excited. I thought it was gonna be like a heist movie. Turned out to be some fucking love story about some kid that loved making music. Because like I said, go back and watch like the trailers for it. You think it's gonna be some fucking Grand Theft Auto meets uh like the Italian Job type deal. Like, and then you get to it, there's two, maybe three good car scenes in it. You don't even get to see the heists. He drives them to the things and then they run back to the car with the money. And the rest of the time it's him chasing some fucking girl that works at a diner.
Okay, I never thought of it that way, but it's interesting. That was a oh, interesting.
Oh, and
Which, but
I'll admit, like any Tyler Perry movie, fucking hate him.
oh, by the way, a Tyler Perry movie. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah,
I can
fucking
see that.
trash, dude.
I
They're
can see
fucking
that.
trash.
I
I
don't I
remember
don't mind them, but I can see why people would think that.
my wife's family loves those movies,
Mhm.
and I remember, fuck, I forgot whose house we were at, and there was like Whitney Houston's funeral, and I remember Tyler Perry, he was speaking at it. And I remember coming in and like sitting down and watching, and Tyler Perry's talking about it, and I remember like saying out loud, "Why couldn't this motherfucker died instead of Whitney?" And like fucking everybody looked at me in shock, like, like, did you just say that? I was like, fuck you, this fool fucking sucks. Like Whitney was great, but what does this motherfucker do besides make terrible three, four terrible movies a year?
He did nothing to
Oh yes, he has fucking make terrible movies.
you, not for you. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Which band would you want to see living or dead?
Which band would I like to see living or dead? I don't know about band, but I think anytime anybody dies, I think to myself, fuck, that's one less person I get to watch. Like Michael Jackson when he died, Prince when he died. Um, I mean, I guess like I guess they technically could still play as like Led Zeppelin. I mean, well, you really just need Page and Plant. Um, Man, like I'd like to watch see Fleetwood Mac. I mean, I already saw it at the drive-in. That was always like a bucket list band, and I'm glad I got to see.
What year did you see them?
Uh, when did we see at the drive-in? 2017?
Oh, recently. Okay, okay.
Well,
Maybe you saw them back then.
yeah, you would think
I
recently,
thought you
like,
saw no, I thought you saw them like back then.
oh
That's
no,
why
I
I was
wish I
like
would have
tripping
seen
out.
them back then. I would
Yeah,
have
yeah,
loved
yeah.
to have seen them back then, but I mean,
Right.
at least I got to see them now. Um,
Yeah, I
who
saw them
else?
too. I saw them 2012 at Coachella.
Really?
Yeah, it was the Dr. Dre headlined, and they were right before Dr. Dre. It was like the Tupac hologram year.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was that year. At the drive-in performed. They're like they that was their first like one of their first years they got back together
Yeah.
as a
I would have
band.
liked, yeah, I would have liked to seen like Hendrix. I'd like to see, yeah.
Oh, Jimi Hendrix would be really great to see.
Um, who else would I have liked to see? Um, I'm sure, like if I come across, like, oh yeah, that would have been great because, uh, like I said, like it, not until they're gone do you realize, like, fuck, man, that's one less person I'd like to have
Right, but
seen.
you mentioned a couple good ones. Prince, Michael Jackson. Those are really, yeah. And you probably gonna hate on me, but I would like love to see Nirvana. Like I wish I could see Nirvana or like Sublime, the original Sublime.
Oh yeah, Sublime would have been great.
Yeah, that'd be so crazy. That's
But see,
interesting.
then again, like I guess that goes into like the whole Nirvana thing, right? Like, some people still love Sublime, but Sublime was only around for like
And they were
I mean, everybody
so
only knows
underrated.
them for that one album, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
you know, people still put them at the very top of their list of like favorite bands, and you know, it probably has to do with with
Nostalgia.
nostalgia, right?
Mhm.
Because I mean, there's a ton of fucking bands that have been out for a long time and put out a lot of good music, but you
You
know,
can
just
argue that Sublime kind of was the reason for No Doubt success. Like they kind of made that kind of music. They started that
like,
kind of music, like punk ska.
yeah. Um, and I forget his name. The dude he has controversy behind his death too.
Bradley Know.
hmm I saw a video on TikTok about that, and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he is a. But at the same time, it's like you can't really. He was definitely a fucking addict, a heroin addict. So
Yeah,
you never fucking know with heroin addicts. But
yeah.
anyways, last question.
All right.
Who is the GOAT?
As far as what
Just up to you in your head. The first thing that pops in your head. Can be
first thing
anything.
that pops into my head
Who's the
is when
GOAT?
the GOAT would probably be Michael Jordan. I think when anybody talks about GOATs, it's always Michael Jordan. But then that kind of makes me sad too because when people talk about goats, nobody ever talks about my personal favorite is Wayne Gretzky. Because growing up, I loved hockey, and I became a huge hockey fan when I was little because of Wayne Gretzky. And even talk about like even saying the man's name almost brings a tear to my eye because that dude was if like and it get brought up like he has the record for most records in the NHL. Like if you were to take away every single goal that dude scored and just go based on his points on assists, he would still have head and shoulders more than second place uh whoever it is and right now at the time with most goals and assists combined. Just his assists alone would put him head and shoulders above everybody,
Right.
you know? And them two, yeah. But I mean, whenever anybody talks about just like straight goat, it's always like Michael Jordan.
That's interesting. Michael Jordan. I can see that. I mean, yeah,
But I
that's
think
he's
that's
the original GOAT.
you know what why that probably pops into my head a lot is because like when you get on and it's kind of sad because like sports media doesn't know how to talk about anything else except for LeBron versus Jordan. God, like remember like I don't know if you ever watch like Skip and Shannon in the morning. Like yeah, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, they had like their little debate show every morning. And I shit you not, like every single day, it was always about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. Like, how long has this fucking rivalry been going on? That they don't have anything else to talk about except for them two on a
Right.
daily fucking basis.
Yeah, I hear that a lot too. I do. I agree. Even though I'm not a sports guy, I hear that a lot. Like they're always comparing them to. And then Kobe, they throw Kobe in there.
Yeah, and that's also sad because they only occasionally throw him in there. But yeah,
All right, man. So I think I'll let you go.
yeah.
I appreciate
Always fun talking to you.
you too, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for this impromptu podcast. I liked it. It
The
worked out well.
Hurricane podcast.
The hurricane podcast that hopefully won't be anything, but it probably will be what else.
It'll be the Drizzle podcast.
The drizzle, the hurricane.
All
Wow. All right, man. Well, hey, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. And it was great talking to you.
right, peace.
I'll talk to you soon. Yeah. We'll figure
Yeah,
something out.
for sure.
All right, man. Peace.
Later.